Australia's economy struggles as businesses face tougher conditions. Recent GDP data reveals Australia's weakest growth since 1991, with businesses facing rising costs, red tape, and falling profits amidst grim economic outlook. John.
Look, I have seen the economic data come out for the June quarter. We have had a per capita recession, okay, where we had negative growth per capita in Australia. That's the 6th consecutive quarter we have had negative growth per capita in Australia. I'm speaking a language people don't understand. Let me make it very simple. Bro, we have got less money per person than we had the previous quarter, 6 quarters in a row. Yeah. That means we're getting poorer per head. We are producing less and we have less money and our money's going less. 6 quarters in a row. That's over a year. That's a year and a half now. If you're in Australia, you've got less money. You're poorer. Every single one of us is poorer. We are in a situation where we are getting the economy is struggling, okay? The amount of inflation is continuing. Interest rates are high. Housing is expensive. Rent is expensive. We've got all these immigrants come in. I'm son of an immigrant. I've got no problem with ethnicities, blah, blah, blah. I don't care where you came from. Go tell someone who cares. It's not the point. I'm not against immigrants, but we've brought in 500,000 immigrants into a country at a point where we've created artificial demand for housing and resources and things. And even with all that, the gross GDP is not going up in any significant fashion. It's just trickling up by like 0.1% or 0.2% a quarter. So if we didn't have all those people come in, we would be in a serious recession. Australia's in a recession. I've got friends and contacts in banking and legal. I know that the mortgage stress is up. Martin North, Digital Finance Analytics, puts out his data every month. 80 to 90% of families are under mortgage stress. There's more defaults in banks. There's more liquidations. We're seeing that through ASIC. I don't care, Labor, Liberal, whatever. It's not like, oh, our government's bad, blah, blah, blah. I understand the economics is deeper and further than just government policy. We're in a bad spot. It's a jam. So people need to really start taking account and think about the future.
Terrific.
I'm seeing it with a lot of my clients. A lot of them have experienced a struggle, especially from January this year. There has been a struggle, right? We came off COVID. Everyone was at a high. Government printed a ton of money. You know, e-com businesses were going nuts. Everyone's building a house, upgrading their kitchen, etc. And then all of a sudden we've had how many consecutive interest rate rises? Everyone's tightened their belt to a degree, and now things aren't pretty. It is what it is. How do we fix it? I do not know, right? I'm not going to put my hand up and say I'm going to Canberra next week and vote for me. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have the answers. But from a business perspective, there has been a lot of advice, a lot of discussions I've had with my clients as to how are we going to tighten our belts as well. Unfortunately, we can't get the additional work. We're going to have to tighten our belts ourselves to make sure we survive, we get through this. Deal with the fact we're going to turn over 30% less this year. There's less people going to be signing contracts. Deal with that, adjust. Personally, if it means sell a few assets, get rid of a couple
So many of my clients are selling investment properties. Are all your clients calling and selling extra investments because they can't afford the interest? I'm having a lot of people call me to do that.
Yeah, to a degree, but to me, it's been a lot of I have to fire staff.
Yeah,
right. They've been dropping staff and tightening their belt, or not buying an additional asset, not putting money into growth. So there has been, unfortunately, a little bit of that.
Yeah,
for sure. And I think this is the first time in Australia we have, at least in my generation, maybe your generation, like this is a first. We're saying since 1991. I can't remember a time where businesses were struggling like businesses are struggling in Australia, because we are the lucky country, and so we export a lot, and our GDP is amazing. We've got great healthcare, and we're able to take care of people quite well. But this is, in my opinion, the first time we've really seen a dire economic outlook for Australia for a long time. And
but you know what it's meant? It's meant in the last few weeks, Answer Homes has gone under. Grandeur Homes has gone under, and we're seeing real tangible results. People have half-built homes. You know, we got to run to the government to help us finish this house and claim on homeowners warranty.
Sure. When I was a kid, we saw this. Like when I was a kid, I remember interest in the early 90s. Yeah. I remember interest rates going up really high. They'd tripled. similar to how they've tripled now. And I remember people having to sell houses. I remember, my dad had to sell his house, and there was a lot of uncertainty and all that. But then by the time I was an adult and went into the workforce, all we ever had for a long period of time was growth and interest rate drops, like they were the reductions. Yeah. So now our generation, like, millennials and, Gen Z, we're facing for the first time, it's like, interest rates
can go
up.
Yeah.
And your money, like your wage can get you less at the shops than what it used to. And it's a whole new generation of people. And then all the migrants that have come in since then. So pretty much everyone now who's facing these conditions, it's first time. So, there is uncertainty. And I guess the fakers are going to be found out. The businesses that are no good are going to be found out. And the good ones will continue.